Welcome, I'm Christy. Let's take a nice full breath. So today we're going to do a yin practice. Yin is that we're holding the poses, so you want to be extra mindful about what's too long. Are you comfortable? Are you really not comfortable? How can you shift a little bit? I've got 2 blocks, so if you don't have blocks, you can use a pillow, a rolled up towel, a rolled up yoga mat, just so we can do a supported back bend. So pillow, towel, rolled up mat, blanket. I knew there was something else. So yin's great for summertime because it's a cooling practice. We're holding still. We're working on letting go. So I want you to start to think about something just mentally, emotionally that you want to let go of. So it might be a worry, something that's stressing you, a fear, a doubt, a situation. So anything at all that you feel like you just want to let go of. And then through the practice, we're going to start to work on breathing that out, imagining letting go of that. So let's just do a little bit of movement first. You can kind of contemplate. A lot of times if something comes to your mind quickly, that's usually the good one to go with. But yeah, just something to let go of. And maybe it's just some tension in the body, right? It can be something simple like that. Okay, so we're gonna come out onto hands and knees. We're gonna round it into a cat pose, head and tailbone down, spine up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna inhale. And let the spine drop down towards the floor, let the head and chest come on up. And then we're gonna take it back into the cat. Inhale, let that spine drop down. All right, and then we're gonna bring it into a lunge. So bring your right foot forward. And then we're gonna let the body shift forward, trying to lengthen out that left leg. So hands might be on the floor, you might have hands up overhead. Just really trying to get some opening in the hips. You might be able to feel it in both hips. You might feel, I can feel it a little bit through my waist today. And then we're going to shift it backwards. So you can either shift back and rest on the heel of that right foot, or you can bring the left knee up and fold over the legs. And breathing out. And then we want to change sides. So if you're just on the feet and the hands, you might want to step your back foot forward, step the front foot back, and then drop that knee down. But anyway, you want to get into your lunge is fine. And then again, try to lengthen the body forward, stretching out that back leg. Breathing out. So already starting to let go of some of this tension that we carry in the body. Again, we're going to shift back, folding the body over the left leg. All right, so I'm going to step that front foot backward this time. Take a little breath in downward facing dog. And to stretch out the back a bit. And then let your knees come down. Drop your head down, coming into a child's pose. Then we're going to shift onto our backs. So come up, take a breath. I'm gonna take a sip here. All right, I'm just gonna get my block under my head here. Okay, so coming onto the back. I always get some kind of dirt, some kind of fuzz all over me. All right, coming on down. I'm not sure where that came from. Coming on down. This is why I almost never wear white. We're gonna come down. We're gonna squeeze those knees in. We're gonna rock a little bit from side to side. And then we're just gonna bring it into just a quick little twist here. Arms out at shoulder height. Let your legs drop over to the right side. Take a big full inhale. Softening down into the floor as you exhale. Head can turn in either direction. A little lower here. Come all back to center. You can just hold the knees. Maybe you're going to squeeze them in, but maybe just kind of hang on to them. I haven't crossed my ankles here. Just so my legs can relax a little more. And then we're going to take legs over to the left, arms back out at shoulder height. We're going to drop legs over to the left side. So big full inhale. Exhale, soften down into the floor. And then come on back to center. Knees in. If you want to do a heavy baby, grab your feet. So it can be this like a cobbler's pose, feet together pulling in, or it can be that you're separating it, the feet, so it's a little bit like an upside down squat here. And breathing. And then a full body stretch. So let your feet come on down, legs lengthen out along the floor. Gently bring your arms past your head. All right, so we're going to take it into a reclining pigeon. I'm going to set the timer. All right, we're going to shoot for a 4-minute hold, probably in most of them. So walk your feet back up onto the floor. Bring your right ankle and rest it on top of your left thigh. So I don't like to hold the leg for 4 minutes. So if you have a wall, you can prop your left foot up on a wall or a piece of furniture like your couch or like a big heavy chair so that it doesn't slide. I'm gonna let my legs drop to the side. So that way I don't have to shift to the wall. And I don't have to hold my leg, which starts to be a little stressful in the shoulders. And so this we're really working on letting go, really working on letting things relax. So again, it's just feet on the floor, right ankle on top of your left thigh, and then I'm gonna let my legs just drop over to that left side. So my outer left leg is on the floor, the sole of my foot is coming down. So yours may be a little bit, different angle. It may be that the sole's not quite flat on the floor. And then if mine's sliding, it's sticking on this bare floor, which is nice. But if it slides, if I'm on a carpet, then I'll hold that foot down with my hand. Okay, so we're gonna start. Big full breath. And then I like to do, so one of the other reasons why I like to not hold the leg, oh, that's good, I just stopped my phone here. Is that I can let my shoulders relax. I'm gonna wait for my phone to restart and we'll reset the time. So arms out at about shoulder height if you're not holding the legs, whether your foot's up on a support or you've got your legs leaning to the side. Arms arms out at about shoulder height. And start to relax down into the floor. So that may be a little tricky. So just tell your muscles to relax. All right, we're back on track here. But you want to feel, what are the sensations in the body? So where is there tension? For me, there's always tension in the body, and it's usually pretty much everywhere. Shoulders, upper back are a big spot of tension for me. But hips and legs are also often tight, tense for me. So if you have this emotional thing, this belief, this stressor that you're working on letting go here, see if you can notice if there's some connection between that and any tension you're experiencing in the body. So our emotions often create tension in the body that we're not really conscious of. We don't really see that link. So this is just your time to observe, how does that emotion that you want to release out, how does that feel in your body? So we're gonna try to gently come out of this side as slowly as you need to. So if things are tight, really restrictive in this pose, you don't really feel a lot of tension here, just try to ease your way out super slowly. It may be uncomfortable to move again. So take your time. The body can kind of get like it's, feel like it's a little bit stuck after we've held the pose for several minutes. Take your time, observe again, how's your body feeling here as you come out of the pose? Do you want your feet to be on the floor? Do you want your legs to stretch out straight? Do you need stillness, a little bit of movement? And you may notice you feel some difference between the hips and the legs now that we stretched one side. All right, we're going to take it to the other side. So you're going to begin with feet on the floor. Left ankle comes up and rests on, or if you're doing the wall, it may be that you have legs up the wall, and then you're going to bring ankle on top of thigh and let your foot slide down. All right, so left ankle on top of right thigh. So if you're like me and you're going to let the legs drop over to the side, don't let them and drop to the right, letting that left foot come down to the floor, and then arms out at about shoulder height. Taking a moment to observe how you are, if you need to shift something here. So again, just working on really releasing out whatever it is. Imagine it's slipping out with your breath. Particularly if you could link that thing that you want to let go of to any particular sensation in the body. You can imagine that tension, whatever that is that you're feeling. You can imagine that also just releasing out with your breath. Slowly start to release this side. So again, taking your time, unwinding, observe how you feel. And so again, you're gonna have feet on the floor, knees pulling in, legs straight. Maybe a little movement of the legs. into a seated position. And we're going to do a wide leg forward fold here. So if you have a prop, you might want to elevate your hips a little bit to help you lean forward. If you have another prop, like hip blocks here, you can rest something underneath your arms. And so you may find as we hold that you start to sink a little bit lower and lower. But you want to try to, again, have some little bit of ease in the pose to begin with, because these poses can be kind of difficult to hang out in. It can be a little bit intense. So try to give yourself some little bit of comfort in your pose there by elevating your hips or putting something underneath your arms. And then we're going to start. So it's just feet wide. I can feel I even have this tight spot behind my knee, so I can feel that stretching out. So if you feel like it's too much, maybe walk your feet in a little bit closer together. So stretching out the back and the legs. So now we're in this different position. So if you come back into that thing you want to let go of. Is there a different place where you can feel that in the body now that we're not having the arms open? So maybe you feel a little bit something different. So feeling whatever it is. So there can be sadness with these things we want to let go of. So there may be that sense of heaviness in the body. I feel like a lot of times with sadness, there's heaviness. Letting yourself feel whatever it is that you feel. Hopefully just simply in that observation, you'll be able to feel that sense of it releasing out. I find that often just really witnessing these emotions and how they feel in the body. Just me to let go of some of that tension I carry. out of this pose. So I should have reminded you by now that you don't have to hold any pose for the full time. So keep listening to your body and what you need. All right, so just bouncing your knees up and down, feet a little bit closer together. And then maybe move your feet around a little bit, wiggle your toes. And we're going to take it into a butterfly pose. So butterfly pose, we've got these feet together, but we want them to be pushed forward of the body. So if things are really tight, you can tuck blocks or pillows underneath the legs, or you can use props under your head. So you can do all of these things, you know, just to try to make yourself comfortable. We want to round the spine. If it's tight, you're going to be higher. Your knees might be higher. So again, that's where you might not hold it as long. If it's tight, it can be really uncomfortable. But we're gonna round and we're gonna try to let the head come down. So sometimes I'll use my hands, just kind of rest my elbows on my feet and use my hands to support my chin and my head. If I'm okay with the head hanging down, I'll let it hang down. But again, like today I can get pretty low. I can rest my head on my arms. I don't usually really like that sensation for too long of my head just hanging. But you can see how you feel. All right, we're gonna breathe. So again, where do you know that you store tension, or like what tends to be tight for you? So again, like I said, I tend to store my emotional stress everywhere. The low back and hips are definitely a big spot. So in this shape, you can probably feel a little bit of stretching in your lower back. And so again, if you know that this is a problem area for you, I'm going to spin so my feet are on the mat because they're not comfortable on the bare floor. So if you know that these tight spots are, you know, sort of habitually tight from whatever, from sitting, from, you know, or how our bodies are shaped, whatever it may be. You know, then does that emotional tension, stress contribute? I think everything works together. I don't think there's really any one cause of our tension. So if you can really feel this low back, and this is a, you know, chronic tight spot for you like it is for me. Really work on letting go of that sensation of tightness. And maybe it's linked to some of those emotions. slowly come out of butterfly pose. We're gonna head back to our back. So take your time, come on up. Breath. And we're gonna stretch out on the back. What do you need here? Do you need legs straight? Feet on the floor, knees in. And there's stillness or a little bit of movement. So I can still really feel right. So that was like, intense for me through the, into the whole pelvis, so the sacrum and the hips. And so I can feel now being in this different position, like that I need to give it, like several breaths here, a little bit of time to adjust to being in a different position. And then we're going to try to do this supported back bend. So if you have a pillow or a blanket, a towel, a yoga mat, so if you have one of those things that's not already, sort of fluffed up, something that you can roll up into a noodle shape. So you want that to go across your spine if you're using one of those props. If you have blocks, we're going to try to do a heart bench. So you're going to do one block on the medium height, so it's going to rest on this long, thinner edge. And that's going to go along your spine. So you're going to drape your spine along that long, thin edge. And then the other one's going to come up for your head and be on the tall end. So head higher than where your spine is. And then you just have to play with trying to get it to come up to the right spot on your back. So usually kind of mid-back, you want your shoulder blades to be dropping to either side of the block, but it may be that the very end of your block, the top end, is kind of below where your shoulder blades are, but you're still gonna get that sensation of your shoulder blades, or your chest, the front of the shoulder is kind of dropping down here. So opening up the back, the chest, the shoulders. And legs can be any way you like. You could have your feet on the floor, your legs could be out straight. So if you've got that noodly shape, it's along your spine, either like right under your shoulder blades or right below your shoulder blades. So your shoulder blades can rest on that pillow or that rolled up blanket. And then arms can stay closed or arms can stretch out. So again, if you've got like a noodle thing going across your back or a pillow across your back, then usually arms out at shoulder height. But if you're at heart bench on the blocks, you can move your arms around. Maybe they're gonna come up past your head. Still working on letting go. So we're going to carefully come off of our props. And let the spine be flat on the floor. So you might keep a little something under your head. Try to let the back just come down flat onto the floor. And then we're going to take it into a spinal twist. So just like we did earlier at the beginning, you can bring your knees in and let your legs drop over to the right side. If you feel like you want a deeper twist, then cross your left knee or leg over the right one. It's like you're sitting in a chair crossing your legs. And then legs come over to the right side. And I'm gonna take a moment here to observe if this is too much. I may not stay like this the whole time. I might uncross my legs. I'm not quite sure yet. If you want a little bit of support for the legs, again, you can take your little prop. Well, that might be a good spot there. And place it underneath your legs. And we're gonna do arms out at about shoulder height. So it's not really, much of an actual twisting of the spine, but it's a little bit of a rotation of the spine. This lower body is pulling forward, upper body is pulling backward. So just imagine again, like the energy of whatever that thing is that you want to let go of. So the spine, all of our energy, our nervous system flowing through the spine. So imagine that thing that you want to let it go of, that energy is in the spine. And that by twisting, it's like wringing out a wet towel, a wet shirt, something like that. Right, that we're releasing out that energy by twisting the spine. And slowly unwind from this side. Come on back to center. And again, taking your time, observe, how do you need to move, where do you need to be here. Into the second side. So each side might be a little bit different, how you're positioned might be different. So it can just be your knees side by side, moving over to the left, right? It could be knees in, moving over to the left. You can cross, and if you need a prop under your legs, you can put a prop underneath. So let your legs come on over to the left. Observe how that is. Work on making adjustments. And then again, imagine that we're squeezing these stuck emotions out of the body, out of the spine, releasing that energy out of our bodies. back to center. Observing what you need. Knees can pull in. If you feel like you need to do a happy baby, I don't know, let's see how this goes for me. If you feel like you need to do a happy baby, grab your feet. But again, if it's not feeling right, maybe you're gonna keep your feet together, maybe they're gonna pull apart. Observe how that feels. You can be still, you can rock. And then any other little stretches you need to do, bringing your legs up straight into the air, maybe reaching your arms up past your head. If you feel like you want to rotate your feet and wiggle your toes. And then let your feet come on down. I'm just going to do a little bridge pose here. If you want to join me anywhere you want your arms to be, so I'm just going to bring my hips up a little bit. I'm going to work on pulling my hips up away from my shoulders. And then just squeeze in the glutes and the hips and the thighs, drawing everything in towards the bone. A little bit of muscle engagement after all of this stretching that we've been doing, all of this releasing. So just feeling the strength of the body. It's still softening. And then let your low back come on down into the floor. You bring your heels up, drop that low back down. Shift a little bit from side to side. Oh yeah, let's do your knees over to the sides. Let's do like a little bit, just like a brief reclining deer pose. So with your feet on the floor, or just a little bit of space. Let's not do a full reclining deer pose, just a little space between the feet. We're just gonna let the feet, the knees kind of drop over to either side, just let them drop to the side. So we're getting a little more stretch through the quads and in through the hips. And then we're going to take them to the other side. So like a twist, but now the knees are farther apart from one another so we can stretch a little more through the side of the body and into the hip. And we're going to go back and forth a couple of times. And then if you want to pull knees in, knees can come in again. We're just going to settle into Shavasana. Finding where your spot is. Feel your breath flowing in and out of the nose. Looking for any little tension that you can let go of in your fingers, your toes, your eyes, your jaw. Observe how your body feels now. Hopefully a sense of a little bit of lightness, softness has settled in somewhere in the body. And maybe it feels like you created a little bit of space by working out and letting go. And so now maybe there's a little space in the mind and the body for what you'd like to create. The sensations you'd like to put back into the body. Maybe a greater sense of ease or strength in the body. And what emotions would you like to have settle into the body now? And what positive beliefs would you like to grow? Take a nice deep breath. Notice how you are. Bend your knees and roll to one side. And gently make your way up into a seated position. Once you're up, inhale your arms up overhead. Let your hands come down behind your back. Interlace fingers together behind the back. Pull hands down towards the floor. And see if you can pull the hands up a little bit away from the body. Big full breath. Let hands come down. Reach arms up overhead. So we're just going to do one more little stretch here. Interlace fingers together. Bring them behind the head. Elbows back. Push head back into your hands. We're going to bend a little bit to the right side. Back to center. Press head back into the hands. Bend a little bit to the left. Back to center. And relax. Let hands come down. Shake them out. Hands to the heart. Nice full inhale. Release it out. Thank you for being here and sharing in this practice today. Namaste.